Hello, my name's Bev and I'm the author of the book Please Eat, A Mother's Struggle to Free Her Teenage Son from Anorexia, which describes our family's battle with the deadly eating disorder, anorexia nervosa, which my teenage son Ben developed back in 2009 when he was just 15 years old. In early 2010, when we decided to take Ben out of school for a while to concentrate on his recovery and eating at home, we had a really fruitful meeting with the headmaster from the school, who said that the school would be willing to help in any way they could, and they would come up with a plan A, a plan B, plan C, and many more plans if necessary, just to be as helpful as possible to Ben, which was absolutely amazing. And the school kept their word. They were as good as their word. And one of the things they suggested, which worked very successfully, was for Ben to sit his GCSE exams in 2010 on his own in a separate ante room. The exam board insisted that he did the exams at the same time as everyone else, but he sat it in a separate room. And there were two reasons for this. One was obviously so Ben didn't get really stressed out and flunk his chances of getting a good result, the kind of result that he wanted to get from the exams, and make it easier for him to cope with. And the other reason was so that if he had been sitting the exam with everyone else and he had freaked out about something, it would have upset everyone else and probably spoiled their chances too in the exam. So it achieved two things, and it worked very successfully, apart from once, which was the art exam, which this particular post talks about. And this post is from the 15th of May 2011, 1 year on, and it's called Exam Week, and what a change from last year. This time last year, Ben sat his GCSEs. He'd been away from school since March, unable to face it at all. The school arranged for him to sit his exams in a separate room, away from the main examination hall, and before each exam he registered in the school medical centre rather than the form room. In other words, everything was carefully managed, so Ben didn't have to meet any of his peers at what was an extremely stressful time for all of them. Being with his peers would have stressed out Ben and could easily have resulted in him walking out and going AWOL, or just freaking out during the exam, which in turn would have upset everyone else. I'd drive Ben to school because the eating disorder-fueled social anxieties prevented him from getting the school bus, and we'd deliberately arrive at school after the other pupils had gone into their classrooms. That's how bad things were. On the one day we had to arrive when everyone else arrived, the art exam, it took Ben ages to pluck up the courage to walk from the car park to the art block. In the end, he just fled with his head down. And I later found out he'd been doing sit-ups in his private exam room whenever the invigilator went out, which they did occasionally because it was a full day's exam. This week, Ben's AS level exams start, and what a difference. He'll be getting the school bus as normal and sitting in the exams with everyone else as normal. No question of needing special treatment of any sort. And although he is still unable to do full days at school, he's been doing full mornings every morning virtually since the start of the contract, mainly because he is sleeping much better. I just hope he sleeps okay before the exams. There's only one day when there's an exam in the morning and afternoon, which will mean a full day in school, but so far he seems okay with that. And that's the end of that post. It's so important to see if you can get the school to be as flexible as possible with a young person with an eating disorder, because that's what helped Ben enormously, because he was really, really, really keen to study and to do well, because Ben is an academic. I mean, it's proven now with the list of qualifications he's got, which are as long as his arm. And he was really keen to do well, and the school went out of its way to make it as easy as possible for him. And I'm eternally grateful to them for that. Thank you for listening. You'll find a link below to my blog, and you'll also find a link to my website where you can download free PDFs of my blog, and also a link to Amazon where you can buy a copy of my book.